Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sunday afternoon chat. First of all, I just want to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. All of you fathers out there, all of you ladies that are spending a special day with your father or your husband or someone that means something to you a lot and means a lot to you in your life. You know, without fathers, we wouldn't have civilization. I know it. Without mothers, we wouldn't either also. But, you know, it is just such a special day. Father's Day, it's the first day of summer. It's also a Sunday. I mean, how much better can it get? It's about 100 degrees right here in southern Oklahoma. Close to it. I think it's 97. So it's getting really, really close to 100 degrees. But we got cool weather, maybe rain tomorrow. So we're really looking forward to that. 2 or 3 days of cool weather. I am going to fish during some of that cool weather. I've got a day planned to do quite a bit of YouTube stuff with Pat Turner, who runs our production company in Tulsa. I've got a day planned to fish with Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead. Daniel's got a great channel, about over 500,000 people on his channel. If you're not subscribed to Arms Family Homestead, go over there and subscribe to that channel. You will love it. I mean, it's a really, really a fun and interesting channel. My little buddy Houston, Daniel's son, I think Daniel's 8 or 9 years old right now. We are actually going to do a fishing show with Daniel and Houston and Daniel's buddy Jacoby, which we've become to love him quite a bit over the last few years. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a crappie fishing show with modern cane poles. Jimmy Houston, collapsible or extendable, whatever you want to call it, cane poles. I told Daniel, you bring the minnows and I'll provide everything else. And we're going to do a catch, clean, and cook on those crappie. We're going to catch some crappie. That's what our plans are. Now, you know, fishing is fishing. We may eat bologna and cheese sandwiches, so we might be doing that. But we've got that planned one day this week, and we'll have that video up as quick as we can. I'm sure Daniel will have it on his YouTube channel as well. So that's going to be a really fun thing. I did want to mention also that if you're not subscribed to our Catch of the Day channel, you know, we've got over 100,000 people on our Jimmy Houston Outdoors YouTube channel, but only about, we're just under 17,000, about just a few people shy of 17,000 on our Catch of the Day channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go over there and subscribe to it, because I tell you, this channel will literally change your life. I get comments every day that, Jimmy, this channel is changing my life. Well, it's not the channel, it's God that's changing your life. But we have a devotional every single day, a fishing tip, and a devotional built around fishing, and a scripture that is easy to understand, easy to relate to, and it'll mean something in your life. I promise you, I promise you. You start your day with God, and you're just going to have a better day, you're going to have a better week, you're going to have a better life. So subscribe to that Catch of the Day channel if you are not already subscribed to that. Again, happy Father's Day every day. I've got both my son and my daughter here with me, which is just absolutely fantastic. It was great having Jamie because we had some water problems. I got ready to go to bed about 2 o'clock this morning, and I'd eaten. My buddy Larry Rinkin had sent Chris some box, a couple gifts, and one of them had cookies in it, which is great, and one of them had chocolate covered fruit, strawberries and bananas and apples, and I love it. I mean, I'm telling you, that's right. Don't tell Larry, but I'm in that box regularly. And so before I went to bed, you know, I decided that I'd try the chocolate covered apple out. So I got it out. It's a little slice of apple completely covered in chocolate, fantastic, and so I did, but I ended up getting some chocolate on my hands. So I went over there to wash my hands off, and no water. So I went down to the water pump, and there was no hoses broken or connections off that I could see, and I could hear something. So I got to looking around the edge of the water, and there was water coming up from the underneath. So I had a line broken under the water, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so I just simply turned the electricity off, and Jamie and Apache and I got after it early this morning, and it was under the water. We had to dig it up, but it was on a couple foot under the ground, but we got that fixed. It was a connection that had come loose. These connections are getting kind of old on this water system, and that's why so many of them have been breaking lately. We may end up getting a new water system before the year's over. But anyway, that was a way to start out this morning, but it was a good way because we definitely have water right now, so that's absolutely fantastic. I want to mention that y'all have never seen me in a Nitro shirt probably, and I just want to mention I was looking around for some shirts to put on, and I saw this one hanging on a hanger, and I said, you know, I've only worn that shirt one single time, and that's all. And I wore this shirt in the only Major League Fishing tournament that they had ever let me fish. They didn't invite me to fish Major League Fishing when they started that, and they've added several people since. They still have never invited me to fish Major League Fishing, so I reckon I probably never will. But anyway, I wore this shirt the only Major League Fishing tournament that I fished. Ott Defoe, former Bassmaster Classic champion, was my partner, and we had a blast. So Ott's a great friend of mine. We bowled together, and we opened Bass Pro Shop stores together, and they gave us these shirts to wear. And it's a beautiful shirt. I've only worn it one time. And by the way, I won a golf cart in that tournament. That's right. Ott and I won a golf cart in that tournament, and I upgraded that to an 800 series tracker off-road. It's a tracker off-road golf cart, and I got a two-seater, a winch in it, on it, a windshield, a top. I mean, everything. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great tracker off-road. So I thought, golly, I won that. I've only worn this shirt one time. I'll go ahead and wear it. I'll go ahead and wear it again. So anyway, it's a very comfortable shirt, very good in these hot days that we have out here. Even though it's long sleeve, we wear these when we're fishing tournaments when really hot weather, because it's pretty much breathable and it feels pretty comfortable. I wanted to mention one little thing about Chris real fast here, because I did an update on Chris yesterday, and I said we haven't really seen much happening. But today, Jamie and I was sitting there, and she was in her wheelchair, and she would raise her right leg, which is her bad leg. She would raise her right leg up and put it back down and raise it up. And I said, honey, what are you doing? She said, I don't know. And I said, look at what you're doing to your leg. And so we got to talking to her. She'd raise the leg up, and she would raise it like 8 or 10 inches off the floor. I'd say, okay, relax your leg. And she'd relax it, and it would go back down. Then she started rolling her chair. She's got her left hand, of course, her left leg is good. She started rolling her chair, and she would get her heel down, and then he would roll her chair forward, and it would force that down. And then she would back up, and then she would raise it up and do it again, which is almost like, at one time she brought it straight up and straight down. And we said, honey, you're about to march. You're marching. So I'm going to hang with my deal that Chris will be taking some steps or walking some by the end of this month, even though they just have limited amount of rehabs for in Tulsa. We thought we were going to get 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And a total over the next 8 weeks is only 14 rehab days. That's all over 8 weeks, not even two per week, which is I'm disappointed in. And I'm going to call the Dr. Craven, and ask her about that. It may be because of staffing, it may be because of a July 4th holiday, or it may be, I don't know. I'm sure they've got a good reason why they're not giving her what they said they would give her, but I'm going to check on that. Kaiser Rehab Center at Hillcrest in Tulsa is a good one, so I'm just going to ask her about that and find out why Chris is not getting more rehab during this next 8 weeks, because I just feel like that she's so close to being able to start to walk, and once she starts to walk, she's just going to improve and improve and improve. So I'm really excited about that. We had something happen this week that was a big deal. It happened last Sunday night, as a matter of fact. We left the gate unlatched, and all of the deer escaped out of one of our pens, including Bubba, the biggest giant buck that we have, and he's just a huge and adding so much horns every single week. All of the deer are adding a lot of horns every week. And we left the gates open, put food out, and managed to, two of the does, there was 9 does in there. 2 of them stayed. They both had twins, and so they stayed. And we were able to move them to a back pen. But then Bubba finally come back on, I think, a Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, and I was down there checking about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was in there, so I shut the gate on him. And we did a video or watching deer antlers grow on Thursday evening, and my buddy Dale Hagelin, which is where I got my deer from, up in Iowa. He's a good friend of mine. He's got a house down on Lake Texoma, and I fish with him down there occasionally. Right next door to my buddy Steve Wells, who is my partner in this ranch. That's how I got to know Dale, and a great guy. And he called me immediately when he saw that antler growth video, and he said, Jimmy, he said, you need to get a deer in there with Bubba. He said he's very sociable and he doesn't like being alone. And actually, when we started getting comments on that video, many of y'all said the same thing, but as soon as I hadn't even looked at any of the comments, and when Dale called and told me that, immediately when he saw that, he said he'll actually get an ulcer from being alone and die within a couple of days. Kind of like me. I thought, well, I've been there, I can understand that. But because I've been alone quite a bit here lately, but I said, I can understand that. And so I said, well, what if I just go back up there and open that that middle gate, and then he'll be with all those other does and the babies and everything. He said, that'll be great. So I immediately went to the pens and opened that, and all of a sudden, Bubba calmed down. He started laying around a lot in the shade, enjoying it. He likes that down at bottom pen a lot. That's where he's spending most of his time, and he's fine. And many of y'all said also, you need to put a doe in there or something, and Dale said I could even put another buck in there, just something that would give him some company. He's sociable, and he likes to be with other deer, and he calmed down, and he's just real fine right now with all those other deer. So many of y'all told me I need to do that, so y'all were right. I just want to tell you, y'all were right on that, and I'm glad that Dale called me, and he seems to be doing just great right now. I was up there earlier today and looked at him, and he's just doing just fine. So, by the way, we have 16 babies. We brought one in and tried to feed it some this week because it wasn't acting like it was making it. But once we got it up here, its ear was perked up straight. It seemed to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and wouldn't take anything to eat. We fixed it some formula, deer formula, and tried to feed it, and it wouldn't. So we put it back with its mama. The deer was the last two deer we had born, so they're only just 2 or 3 days old. And I guess the little girl, she's a beautiful little girl. And I asked Chris, I said, Mama, can we keep her? Can we keep her? And but we put her back with her mother where she belongs, and she seems to be doing just fine today. But she is gorgeous. She's got a twin sister, and of our 16 deer, get this, I don't know how this happened. I'm gonna have to talk to my bucks, but we have 12 girls and only 4 boys. We have only 4 bucks out of 16 deer. Now these are deer that are born in the pen. We're having a lot of deer that are born outside. This morning while I was messing around with the water, I scared up a buzzard, and I went over there where that buzzard was to see if there was anything dead, and a baby fawn had just been born jumped up and run a little ways and sat back down. The buzzard was in there trying to kill that baby fawn and eat it. And the baby fawn had just been born, and I went back there a little bit later and checked on it. It was gone. There was a doe in the area, so the mama had come and moved that, but it just scared me to death. I almost ran over it. I got so close to it, and it was just right beside me when it jumped up and ran over and could barely walk because it was just very, 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 very young. But anyway, Bubba's doing fine. He's got plenty of company with him now. He's got I don't know, maybe a dozen does and 16 babies in, well, 12 babies in the pen with him, 4 that's in the others. So that's really that's really good. Before I end here, I just want to say we've got so much stuff from so many people. And some of you have sent gift cards, some of you have sent money, some of you have sent all kinds of gifts. I could name people after people like Valerie Powell down there who sent jellies and breads and pickles and just incredibly great stuff to eat. The Almond family has made stuff and sent to us. Rika has just been she just sent so much stuff to us. It's been amazing, and just so many of you have done that. We've got literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards and get well stuff. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lady over I think it's in Missouri. There's a lady in Missouri named Susan DeHaven. And if you'll remember back when we were first in Oklahoma City, there was a lady that bought pizzas for our entire staff there at the OU Medical Center in Oklahoma City. That was Susan DeHaven. When we moved to Tulsa and moved into the bad rehab center that we were in to begin with, which has really set Chris back a couple, 2 or 3 weeks in her recovery, it just was not a very good place before we moved over to Hillcrest and Kaiser. She bought pizzas for that staff also, and the staff worked really, really hard. It's just the place is just not really, well, it just wasn't that great, but she bought pizzas for that bunch also, and she sent stuff down here to us. She made some signs which we hung up in the room there. We've got them hanging in the house right now. But I'm going to tell you what she did this week. Let's look at this right here. She sent 2 of these right here. You know what this is? Some of you can probably figure that out. But this is a little bag. Women and now guys nowadays do it too. Throw over their shoulder, and what do you think that Susan said we need to put in here? We need to put in here, and she'd have it on the other shoulder. Well, no, I guess this would be right. We need to put grapes and carrots in here. This is for Chris to carry out to feed her babies. And so she can reach down in there with her good hand and pick out a carrot and she made these. She made 2 of them. And so I guess I can use one too. And she said that I can actually take this to some of the deer in the pen if I want to give them some goodies and carry it around like this and give them some goodies. But Chris can feed the deer with only one hand. Now that is very, very thoughtful. That is amazing. I told you that Susan made some signs. I want you to look at this, because this is one of the most touching, heartfelt things that I have ever received. And it's a book that she's made, spent a lot of time on. It says the home of one fine fisherman and the catch of his life, which is absolutely true. It's got a picture of the water there at Twin Eagles Ranch. On the back of it, it's got a picture of the bracelets that Jordan made up out of the valley. And then life is good, which is my slogan. God is great and life is good today. That's my slogan. I've had it for years and years. We put it on our Jimmy Houston rods and our Jimmy Houston rod and reel combos. It's on every single rod. God is great and life is good today. But this is amazing what she has done. She has gone in here and done pictures, hundreds of pictures, page after page after page of pictures of our family, stuff here at the ranch, Oklahoma University football games, deer hunting. She's got every member of our family in here, kids, grandkids, obviously lots of Lucy and many of these pictures I have never seen. And I just sat there last night and looked at this book for probably a couple hours and went through it. And Chris is just so fascinated by it, but it's absolutely amazing. And I don't know what we can do. To thank Susan. Susan lives over in Missouri, and I believe she lives in Missouri, and I think somebody somewhere in the Ozark. Look at that beautiful picture of Chris and that big crappie. Isn't that amazing? Such a beautiful, beautiful woman, and she's taking her Sunday afternoon nap now. She takes an afternoon nap for every day of the week. It happens to be her Sunday afternoon nap right now. But on and on and on. And this thing, I'm not even halfway through this book. It's got all the way back. It's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. And Susan, I don't know how to thank you. We're going to figure out some way to thank you. And so many of you have done so much, and it's just been absolutely, absolutely incredible. I actually drew out a couple coupons, a red and a blue, to give away a Facebook winner and a YouTube winner. I was going to give away a couple more Lucky Strike tackle boxes. I got about another 6 or 8 of them in. I want to give them away. But Sherry left and is going on back home. That she got that chairlift being installed tomorrow. And Jamie's taking Chris to rehab tomorrow, and we're filming here on the lake for the next 4 days. We got filming the next 3 days. Then I've got a church coming in from Kansas City to do a little bit of filming on an event that I'm having in Kansas City. I believe it's, I don't know the exact dates, but it's about the middle of August. I just have to look at the calendar. I'll be there at church on a Saturday night, and also be speaking at their Sunday morning service. So they're going to come down. We're going to shoot a little video probably on Thursday morning, and we'll be telling you about that and all the dates and times and everything on that. So those of you who are in the Kansas City area can come over there and visit that day if you want. But it's been a power-packed week, a full week. Chris got to start her rehab. She actually got to do 2 days, and the first day was more evaluation than anything else, but hopefully they're going to get into really working her hard. She's ready to work hard. She's so excited about the possibility of being able to walk. Her speech is getting better, even though the speech sessions are very few and far between. In fact, I think there's only about, over the next 8 weeks, maybe 5 or 6 speech sessions totally, and they're only 30 minutes each. So I think maybe the last couple weeks, she's got about 4 or 5 where she's got all 3 for an hour. Like they told us it would be in the first place. But you never know, things could change on that, and hopefully that'll change up there a little bit. But it's been a great week. This is going to be another great week right here. It's the first day of summer. Even though the first day of summer, it is the hottest day we've had this year here in Oklahoma. Much of the state is up around 103, 104. Probably will get right close to or barely over that 100-degree mark here down here in southern Oklahoma. We have already had a 101-degree day, so this may not be. But we got a little breeze blowing. The wind's going to switch around to the north tomorrow. We got rain coming in. Going to get to fish a little this week. How good can it get? We are blessed, 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 blessed. And I want you to think about something, and I mentioned this a little bit when I was talking about Chris on the update yesterday about, I haven't given an update for a week, and so I did an update for her yesterday, is that everything that we just do because we learned how to do it as a little baby, and it just happened all our life, like swallowing, like walking, like moving our hands around, like taking the next breath, like getting up and getting out of bed, like going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. All of that stuff that we take so for granted is so precious to so many people around the world because a lot of them can't do it. And some of that stuff Chris can't do right now. And it just makes you realize what a great God we serve, what a great God we have that gives us so many blessings every single day, showering blessings down upon us, showering blessings. We talk about living under God's favor. We talk about honoring God and placing Him first in our life and living under His blessings, living under His favor. We have more of His favor than we can ever realize if we just have an ordinary Sunday afternoon or an ordinary Monday when we get up and go to work and come home in the evening and there's our wife and kids or our family. Just an ordinary day, nothing special. Can I tell you, that day is very, very special because God blessed you and blessed you and blessed you every step you took all day long, every breath you took, every smile you smiled, every laugh you laughed, every tear you shed. All of those are a blessing from Almighty God. So guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one this week. I'm just so excited about Chris moving that leg and setting it back down and almost in a marching cadence. She did that 2 or 3 times. And she was doing it. It wasn't a reflex action. That leg's been moving for a while. She was doing it. That means it's connecting up here with her brain. And it just excites me to no end. I still believe. This is what, the 20th? This is the 20th. We still got another 10 days this month. I'm still believing before the month's over, she's going to stand and be able to take at least a few steps, maybe several steps. She may be having to use that Hemi. It's a little walker type thing. It almost looks like a little tiny, a little miniature step ladder, but you just use it for balance. She might be using that Hemi on her left arm and her leg to take that step. She might be, I don't know, she might be taking it with her right leg before the end of the month. I don't know. I call that Hemi a hobbit. You know, a hobbit. You know, a hobbit. You know what a hobbit is? Yeah. And I told her, I said, well, that's a hobbit. You can just hobbit along. You just take that thing and just hobbit along. But I'm just still believing she's going to take a few steps between now and the end of June. And then from there, the sky's some limit. She's not going to walk. She's not going to run. She's going to fly. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there today. And remember, I sure do love you.